Right now on your Fast Track to 7, Bison football fans eager to hear more about Matt Entz and the big bombshell breaking news that's likely to happen later today. The NDSU head coach is taking a job with the USC Trojans in California. This is a Pac-12 team on the move to the Big Ten next season when he joins. Entz was just hired as the team's assistant coach for defense and linebackers. NDSU's weekly press conference is happening this afternoon. We will provide those updates later today on both the move and the upcoming semifinal game happening this Saturday. Breaking news this morning on the crash of US F-16 fighter jet. That plane went down this morning off South Korea during a routine training exercise after what military officials say was an in-flight emergency. The pilot was ejected, then rescued, and is now being hospitalized, said to be in stable condition. The Air Force not yet detailing what led up to that crash. Our latest check of snow plow trackers in Fargo and West Fargo shows just about every neighborhood has been cleared after Saturday's big snowfall. Plow drivers spending much of the night last night in downtown Fargo getting ready for this morning's commute. Snow was piled up into the dump trucks and hauled out to the Fargo City landfill, where this season's haul will create the popular Mount Fargo snow pile. And speaking of this weekend of winter, we're sending things on over to meteorologist Lisa Green for a closer look at what we can expect today. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, still dealing with the fallout from that, even as we are talking about dense fog this morning affecting us. We have a dense fog advisory that was extended until 10 o'clock now this morning as that fog continues to stay stubborn. In eastern parts of North Dakota, we're in that advisory, a few counties in northwest Minnesota, but even beyond the advisory, we're still getting some low fog or low visibility reports because of the fog. So here's a look at our reports in the Northern Valley. Langdon at a quarter-mile visibility, one of our dense fog spots. Grand Forks has been fluctuating a little bit, but we're at a 1.5 mile visibility there now. And you can see places in and around that area seeing some at least lowered visibility, though the fog is not creating dense fog reports. And then along I-94, Jamestown, 1/2 mile, Valley City, Fargo, Fergus Falls, all reporting a mile visibility, and Elbow Lake just under that at 3/4 mile. So driving along the interstate along I-94, going to be a murky one as well this morning. And here's our view. There's I-94 in the foreground in Fargo. Our visibility still low, still can't see downtown from our view here. And we will continue to have to deal with this for a little while. Looking at 24 degrees in Fargo, so we're below freezing, but this is not too far off again from our average highs for this time of year. So it is milder still this morning, just not nearly as warm as it was last week. And wind is out of the south and it's getting stronger. You can see in Grand Forks, we've got a steady wind at 21 miles per hour. So this is all leading up to a cold front that's going to pass through as we head into the day today. And right now on our radar and satellite map, not looking too busy, pretty quiet. So the northwest, where we're seeing some clouds, seeing some of that snow that will eventually move in. Now, when I say snow, more likely flurry activity to a couple of patchy areas of snow showers, but not everybody will see it. Just want to mention that as a possibility as we head into midday today. And once the front moves through, we'll see that wind turn west-northwesterly. Temperatures will be in the 20s to some 30s today. And then the wind tonight may get strong for the evening commute and beyond with that northwesterly wind picking up in the wake of the front. So watch out for some blowing and drifting snow heading into tonight. We'll cool down tomorrow after the front moves through. And then in your 11-day planner, you see temperatures back into the 30s and even low 40s for at least one day on Thursday for our highs. So we're warming things back up. We'll work at melting a little bit of that leftover snow and ice during the afternoon hours. Might be a good time to work away at it, maybe chip away at the ice in the afternoons if you can, if you've got some in your driveway. And no big chances for precip, just a couple of breezy days ahead in your extended planner.
I mean, all things considered, pretty incredible.
Yeah, not bad. You know, we're not setting record highs this week, that's for sure, but we're still looking very mild for December.
Okay, thank you for the updates this morning, Lisa. It will be another tough week in Mercer County, North Dakota. Family and friends are gathering on Wednesday for the funeral of County Deputy Paul Martin. He was killed during a high-speed chase last week. Services are set for 1 p.m. Wednesday at Beulah High School. They will be live streamed right here on Valley News Live. Doors open at 11:30. A short procession through Beulah will follow that funeral. The burial for Deputy Martin will be held at the North Dakota Veterans Cemetery in Mandan at a later date. Martin was killed last Wednesday as police were trying to stop a stolen car driven by Ian Kramer, the son of North Dakota U.S. Senator Kevin Kramer. Police say speeds reached more than 100 miles per hour during that pursuit. It ended when Kramer crashed into an unoccupied county patrol vehicle, pushing that car into Deputy Martin, who was standing outside of it. Kramer is now in jail on $500,000 bond. It's been a week since a service dog in South Fargo went missing. Owner Jason Larkin says 3-year-old Ruby ran out of her yard and was spotted the next day near Horace. Larkin is desperate to get Ruby back because she's trained to help him with daily activities. Anyone with any information on Ruby's whereabouts, be sure to contact Jason Larkin on Facebook. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is holding a public forum in Moorhead today to hear from people on what they need to afford their lives with, quote, dignity and safety. The session is happening from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Bright Sky Apartments in North Moorhead. Ellison will be joined by local state legislators. He'll meet earlier in the day with sheriffs and county attorneys. Here's a reminder about holiday shipping deadlines starting this week for people who want those gifts to arrive at those destinations in time for Christmas. Starting off with FedEx, they are recommending you get everything sent no later than December 15th. That's this Friday for 5-day home delivery. USPS says that holiday mail can be sent out by December 16th, and that will arrive by Christmas. But if you're doing priority, you have 4 extra days to get those packages to the post office. And UPS recommending packages be shipped by December 19th if you are using the 3-day select, if you want those to be delivered by the 23rd. The popular holiday concert series starts today at the Plains Art Museum in downtown Fargo. Music begins at noon every day through Friday, beginning today with the Concordia Sax Quartet. Concerts are free to the public. You can also visit the galleries for free as well. Baseball superstar Shohei Ohtani is now the world's highest paid athlete. After signing a lucrative contract in the U.S., the 2-time MVP pitcher and hitter from Japan agreed to play for the Los Angeles Dodgers for, listen to this, 10 years of a contract and $700 million. Whoa, this is the largest guaranteed contract in sports history. Thank you all so much for waking up and joining us right here on The Valley today. The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start. Or switch on over to the CW and continue your morning with me. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ashlyn Hill. Right now on The Valley today, leaving the Bison, NDSU's head football coach Matt Entz will be leaving for another gig after this current season. Find out where coming up. The funeral has been set. Arrangements now made for fallen Mercer County Sheriff's Deputy Paul Martin. We'll tell you about that. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza continuing to grow as the conflict rages in the south. What the UN is saying about the food supply currently in Gaza. And Lisa Green joining us with a look at our forecast on our Monday, December 11th, 2023. The Valley Today starts right now.
is the Valley Today on Fargo CW.
Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on your Monday morning here on the Valley Today on the Fargo CW. My name is Ashlyn Hill. Well, as we all know, we got hit with winter this weekend, and we're sending things on over to meteorologist Lisa Green for a look at what we can expect outside right now. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, you know, the impacts, the after effects of that winter blast still here with us. We've got still some snow and ice on some of our neighborhood streets, and then we're adding to it with the fog, depositing some frost on some roadways and on your windshields maybe if you park outside. So might be a little bit dicey for that morning drive because of the slick roads, but also you can see visibility is going to be down as well. So we're giving it a 3 out of 5. Going to be some factors here for your morning drive for tough travel. We will also be seeing some breezy weather developing. That's already started too, as a cold front's going to be affecting our weather today as well. But morning temperatures, teens and 20s as we continue on through the morning hours. And a look at our visibility, you can see numbers that are less than a mile. Langdon and Valley City and back to Fergus Falls, all reporting visibility under a mile. In fact, Fergus Falls, that half-mile visibility report is a sign of thickening fog, densening, fog becoming more dense. I need more coffee this morning. 1 mile visibility in Fargo, 1.5 miles in Grand Forks. So again, foggy is the bottom line here for your morning drive. Now, heading into the day, the wind will start to increase, and once the sun comes up, we'll start to see our temperatures rise, and that should help to clear this out. We're at 24 degrees right now in Fargo, Grand Forks at 23 degrees. I'm not expecting snow to be falling in Grand Forks. There might be a little bit of that frost getting blown by the wind that's picking up there. We've got a steady speed of 17 miles per hour. And checking out your radar and satellite map, here's where the snow is. It's over by Williston and northeastern parts of Montana. And as the cold front moves through, that may bring about a quick little shot of some light snow or maybe just some flurry activity through midday. And temperatures that will still be mild today, 20s to some 30s. So out at the bus stop, not too bad for kids, but it will be on the breezier side. And of course, this morning we're dealing with fog for kids out at the bus stop. So keep an eye out for them as they're walking to and from the bus stop and into school here today. We're going to talk more about this cold front coming up, what it means. We've got some wind with it, that potential for some precip with it too, and how it may impact you. All of that coming up in your forecast.
Sure, and of course, again, as you mentioned, the big story for this morning, the fog. We've seen it get progressively worse from 4:30 to now.
Yeah, in Fargo, we watched our visibility drop down to less than a mile, and yes, in Fergus Falls, we've seen our lowest fog report as of this moment. So it's not going anywhere just yet.
Okay, thank you for the updates, Lisa. From coast to coast, Americans are experiencing severe weather. In Tennessee, residents still cleaning up after powerful storms tore through the central part of the state. At least 6 dying and dozens hospitalized. The Northeast also seeing severe storms, while in Southern California, firefighters are battling a wind-fueled wildfire, which has already spread to 3,000 acres over the weekend. It's quite literally the talk of the town. NDSU head football coach Matt Entz leaving for another job after the postseason. NDSU Athletics says Entz is taking a job with the USC Trojans in California. It's a Pac-12 team on the move to the Big Ten next season when he joins. He'll be joining Lincoln Riley's crew as assistant head coach for defense and linebackers. The new hire is much needed at USC, they say, which finished with more than 50 touchdowns and 430 yards allowed per game last season. That's one of the worst marks in the FBS play. NDSU's weekly press conference is happening this afternoon. We'll have the latest updates later today on both the move and the upcoming Bison game, the semifinal, on Saturday. A West Fargo traffic stop for tinted windows ended up sending one man to jail on drug charges. The North Dakota Highway Patrol stopped a driver in West Fargo yesterday who officers say showed signs of impairment. 18-year-old Damian Torres of Fargo was arrested for possession of cocaine and marijuana with intent to deliver, DUI, and then resisting arrest. Troopers found drugs and a handgun in Torres's car. Friends, family, and co-workers will gather this week for the funeral of Mercer County, North Dakota Deputy Paul Martin. He was killed during a high-speed chase last week. Services are scheduled for 1 p.m. Wednesday at Beulah High School. They will be live streamed right here on Valley News Live. Doors open at 11:30. A short procession through Beulah will follow that funeral. The burial for Deputy Martin will be held at the North Dakota Veterans Cemetery in Mandan at a later date. Martin was killed last Wednesday as police were trying to stop a stolen car driven by Ian Kramer, the son of North Dakota U.S. Senator Kevin Kramer. Police say speeds reached more than 100 miles per hour during that pursuit. It ended when Kramer crashed into an unoccupied county patrol vehicle, pushing that vehicle into Deputy Martin, who was standing behind it. Kramer is now in jail on $500,000 bond. Palestinian activists have called for a global strike today to pressure Israel into a ceasefire in Gaza. This as fighting has intensified in the south. Naomi Ruckham reporting this morning. The World Health Organization warning the health care situation in Gaza has now reached catastrophic levels.
Israeli tanks have pushed into the heart of Gaza's southern city of Khan Yunis, calling it the command center for Hamas. In a televised address Sunday, Israel's prime minister called on Hamas fighters to surrender. Hamas says Israel will not recover the remaining hostages by force, only through negotiations. But key mediators say willingness to discuss a ceasefire is fading, as the Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza reports the death toll is nearing 18,000. I will take revenge for you, this man cries after he says his son was killed by sniper fire. About 90% of Gaza's population have been displaced, and the head of the UN's World Food Program says half are starving.
We have come to a point where we're not sure if we are able to fulfill our mandate and provide assistance to people in need in Gaza.
The UN General Assembly has scheduled an emergency meeting tomorrow to vote on an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Friday, the U.S. blocked a similar effort by the Security Council, and on Saturday, the Biden administration announced it approved the emergency sale of ammunition to Israel, bypassing Congress.
Israel is in combat right now.
A new CBS News poll finds most Americans disapprove of President Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas war, with few thinking his administration's actions are bringing things closer to a peaceful resolution. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
President Biden plans to host a White House reception today to mark the Jewish festival of Hanukkah. A new poll is spelling out more trouble for President Biden. There's an increasing number of Democrats who think the president is giving too much support to Israel. And it's not just the war. 7 in 10 Americans say they disapprove of the president's handling of inflation and immigration at the border as well, as Americans say that their income is not keeping up with inflation. And most think the president can control those numbers. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is holding a public forum in Moorhead today to hear from people on what they say they need to afford their lives with, quote, dignity and safety. The session is happening from 5:30 to 7:30 at Bright Sky Apartments in North Moorhead. Ellison will be joined by local state legislators. He'll meet earlier in the day with sheriffs and county attorneys. One city in Minnesota is going all out for the holiday season. We'll show you after the break. Well, we are entering the most wonderful time of the year with holiday celebrations really everywhere you look. But there's a Minnesota city pulling out all the stops this Christmas. Sammy Selena went to Duluth to check it all out and find out why.
If the winter's cold doesn't get to you,
Oh, it's a little chilly.
the darkness might.
It can get long, yeah.
But in Duluth, holiday cheer
I was in awe.
will brighten up this season.
So tall, and it's so beautiful.
The Glen Sheen Mansion is decorated for Christmas.
So we dim all the lights. A lot of the lights turn off, and then you just get to tour Glen Sheen through the glow of the Christmas trees and through the glow of the candle lights in all the windows. It's like a built-in happy light, one might say.
Jonah Sisson, the operations manager, says out-of-towners and Duluthians alike will make their visit tradition.
It kind of shines a light, and I think we need that in the winter in Minnesota.
Their guest numbers now hold up to what they see during the summer. Last year, Duluth received more in tourism tax revenue than ever before during the month of December.
Are you guys ready?
But when it gets dark, 6, 5, that's when the holiday spirit shines. 2, 1. The man behind the magic of Bentleyville is Nathan Bentley.
I don't know if I was really in competition with the neighbors or I was just trying to put up more lights than what the neighbors were actually doing.
This started in his yard and grew to a tradition shared by thousands.
I love those lights.
Jingle around the clock.
I love that big tree. That's amazing.
The 128-foot tree has 150,000 lights on it alone.
Winters can be dark.
It just puts you in the mood and in the spirit of all the beauty of Christmas.
But this holiday season,
just the time of the year. That does it.
Duluth will leave the light on for you.
It's lovely.
How incredible! The Glen Sheen Mansion is the former home of Chester and Clara Condon, a family known for opening up iron ore mining in northeastern Minnesota. The building was also the site of the infamous 1977 murders of Condon heir Elizabeth Condon and her nurse. That home was later donated to the University of Minnesota and run as a museum. Here's a big reminder about holiday shipping dates for people who want their gifts to arrive at those destinations in time for Christmas. FedEx recommending you get everything sent no later than December 15th, which is this Friday, everybody. That's for 5-day home delivery. USPS says that holiday mail sent out by December 16th will arrive by Christmas, but if you're doing priority, that gives you an extra 4 days to get those packages to the post office. And UPS recommending packages be shipped no later than December 19th, but you have to use the 3-day select if you want those delivered by the 23rd. Of course, check your courier's website for other options, including international shipping. In a consumer alert this morning, Dollar General backtracking out of self-checkout lanes after installing them in more than half of their stores nationwide. The chain's hopes of saving money and speeding up the process have not panned out, according to insiders there. Dollar General says stores often have to reassign workers to help ring up customers despite the self-checkout machines anyway. Shoplifting and other merchandise losses also factors, reportedly. Dollar General says those self-checkouts will be the secondary payment option at those stores. Health insurance company Cigna has scrapped its massive merger plans with Humana. Reuters says the deal could have exceeded $60 billion in value, but that the health insurers could not agree on a price. Cigna says instead it will buy back $10 billion worth of shares. Coming up, meteorologist Lisa Green has a look at our Monday morning forecast as you try to make out what this live cam is showing us this morning. It's a foggy start for a lot of folks in our region. She'll explain it all after the break.
Good morning. On this Monday, it's foggy again. That's going to be our biggest concern for the morning drive. But as the day goes along, other things are going to be happening. We're looking at a cold front moving through, bringing a chance for a little bit of light snow and some wind as well. And this is our view right now in Fargo. You see it is looking murky, trying to look toward downtown. Can't see it. And so we've got those caution lights for you for the entirety of the day today, for the fog this morning, and then the wind and even a little bit of a flurry activity for the midday hours here. So again, caution needed here today to kick off our week. And on top of that, of course, we also have some snow and ice still compacted on some of our, especially neighborhood roads, that you'll need to watch out for too from this weekend. So visibility is on the low end. Again, we've got visibility at a 1/4 mile in Langdon. Grand Forks is at 1.5 miles, and other places in north central parts of our viewing area are experiencing some reduced visibility. Southern Valley, more places, and it's essentially right along the I-94 corridor from Jamestown back through Fargo, down toward Elbow Lake and beyond, where we've got a lot of lower visibility reports. We're at a 1/2 mile in Fergus Falls, 1/4 mile in Valley City, Fargo, Moorhead at 1 mile visibility at both of those airports. Here's a look at our wind. This is going to be a factor for us as far as helping to clear out the fog as it increases, but it also will lead to, as it gets stronger this afternoon and